Hey everybody, so this is part 2 of my Coastal Scents palettes kind of overview. I guess my reviews, whatnot. I'm going to start, the last one was the palettes, which I will link to, the 88 palettes, sorry, which I will link to in the box below. And then these are the kind of the other ones, the smaller eye palettes, the face palettes, etc. I'm going to start with the two concealer palettes, which are the Eclipse palette and then the Camouflage palette, which you can see the Eclipse palette is much smaller. And then in comparison to the 88s, just so you can see kind of the size comparisons, I've owned two of the Camouflage palettes before, which look like this. They're the big ones. The colors are amazing. They're super creamy. I like to use these on shoots. I use a little bit of MAC's Face and Body mixing medium, which you can buy at MAC Pro stores, or you can call them if you don't have one near you and they will ship to you. And I like to take a little bit of that and this concealer to make kind of a cream foundation. I find that it sets really well on the skin, etc., especially for high definition photography, video, things like that. So that's that. And then the newest one is the Eclipse palette, which I showed in my last video. And this one has, there you go, this lighting's much better than where I was earlier. You can see this one has the 4 corrector shades. So it's got, this one's an illuminator, kind of highlighter type thing. This one's green, lavender, and yellow. And if you don't know, green counteracts redness. Yellow is for like dark circles underneath your eyes, and then the lavender I think is for sallow tones, so like yellowy type tones, but I'm not sure because I don't ever use it because obviously I'm really pale. And then you have your 11 different concealer shades, which are also really nice. You have a mixture of pink based and yellow based, which lets you do blemishes and under eye. If you didn't know, you want to use a yellow based concealer underneath your eye and a more pink based on blemishes. And that's all I can really say about this one. It's really great. I love it. I've been using it every day. I'm going to go faster through these now. The next two are kind of the blush and face palettes, I guess. The first one I will talk about is the 10 blush palette, which is the same size as the Camouflage concealer palette, and it looks like this. And the light's kind of washing these colors out a little bit, but these are super bright, super pigmented. I'll swatch this super bright pink for you guys. So that's it. I mean, these are like almost as pigmented as my MAC blushes, and these are also really good dupes for a lot of the really well-known MAC blushes. Like this one is really close to Well Dressed. I'm not up on my MAC blushes, but I know that these are pretty close dupes for a lot of them at a much cheaper price. You get a mixture of both matte and shimmer, which I don't think you're going to be able to see at all. There's a little bit, you can see it in this one. But they're both really nice texture, smooth, they blend really well. I like to mix. I put this light one on all over my cheeks and pull it up, and then I take a little bit of this more pinky toned coral and dab it just on my apples. There's that one. And then the other one is the 6 color contour and blush palette, which, if I can get it open, looks like this. I don't know if you can tell how huge these, I mean, I don't know why I'm doing that, how huge these pans are, but they are massive. And you get 3 highlighter shades, 1, 2, and 3. And then you get your contour shade, which is right here, and then 2 blush shades. So if you wanted to, this is really great for, once again, bridal work, kind of anything. I take this on every shoot with me. They're all matte, which I kind of love. A lot of people think that highlighters need to be shimmery. but they don't, and these matte highlighters work really well. You have a yellow toned one, a peach toned one, and then a white toned one, which work on pretty much every skin color. These two blushes are great. I wouldn't recommend them for darker skin tones because they will get ashy. And then the contour is great for pretty much everybody. It's not as pigmented as it looks, and blends out really well, which is great for contours. So there's that one. And then the last four that I have are the last couple of, oh no, there's one lip. I'll do that one. And then the last three are all eyes. This is the 66 lip color palette, and it looks like this. And you get a combination of lip glosses, lipsticks with different finishes. This is kind of a really great all-around palette. I like to use my little MAC palette and mix these myself so I can get pretty much any color or finish that I want. There's also a 32 lip palette, which I have somewhere, but I can't seem to find it, which is the same size but just has smaller, just has bigger lipsticks, and it doesn't have any of these cool blues and whatnot. And you might be thinking, why would I ever need blues? But blue makes your teeth look whiter, and so a couple of the blue ones are more glossy, especially this blue right here. And I mix in a little bit with my pinks. If you have a warmer base pink and you want it to be more blue toned, I mean, they're really great for mixing. Or if you're doing, kind of a high fashion shoot or anything like that, they're also really great for that. So that is the 66 lip color palette. And then the last three, I'm going to go really fast through these, but this one's newer. It's the Smoky palette, and compared to the Prism palette or the 88s, it looks like this. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be online. It looks like it's a lot bigger, but it looks like this. And I know that this looks crazy, but essentially the way that they've set it up is that these work in groups of 6. So here's purples, greens, kind of neutrals, the classic smoky eyes right here, blue, and then you have these pinks right here. I've been working on these. I'm kind of on the fence about this palette because some of the colors are not nearly as pigmented as I think they should be. Compared to the 88 palettes, whose pigmentation is amazing. I mean, I haven't found anything that is within the same price range that is this good of a quality. So I'm disappointed with the pigmentation on some of these. You can either use them 3, so here's your highlighter, your lid color, and then your crease, or you can mix and match them, obviously. I may try and do one of these a day for the next couple of days, even if I don't wear it out. Like, I would never wear yellow and the greens, but just so you guys can see. And if I do that, I will put pictures up on my blog, which I will put a link to on this in the comment bar or whatever it is that's below. The only thing is that I am not as good about updating my blog as I am about YouTubing. For some reason, when I have to sit down and write, I get distracted. So hopefully I will be getting those done, and I'll probably won't start until next week, so just heads up. And then the last two is one that I talked about in my last video, which was the 28 neutral palette, and it looks like this. And in my other video I mentioned this is really great for bridal. You could take just this palette and have pretty much every color you needed. The only thing that I really wish is that this color over in the corner is not a black, it's a really dark brown, and I'd kind of like a black. Some of the shades are shimmery, but the majority of them are matte or satin finishes. This one up here, just heads up for you MAC fans, is almost a perfect dupe for Beauty Marked. And so there's that one. And then the last one is the 26 color Shadow Blush Combo Palette. And it looks like this. So I have two gripes with this palette. The first one is that there is no black and there is no highlighter shade. So this pink, I'm sure on my camera kind of looks like it would be light enough, and so does this one, I guess. No, actually they don't. That's good. But so that's my first problem, is that you couldn't just take this with you because you don't have a highlighter and you don't have enough, you don't have a really dark color for definition, really. My other problem, well, I guess I have three, is that two of the blush shades are just the eyeshadow shades in bigger pans. So you can actually probably tell this one is the same as this color, and this color is the same as this color, which seems a little pointless to me, because why give us the same color twice when we could just use these as eyeshadows and blushes, and you could have replaced this with a highlighter and a black. So that's kind of my only gripe. Also, this one, I really don't know. It looks chalky on me and ashy, and it's not a blush color, I assume. I mean, you couldn't use it as a blush color. You can't use it as a contour color. As a highlight, it's awful. So, I mean, this color's pretty pointless. So, I mean, this is definitely not one of my favorites, in case you couldn't tell. But, yeah, I mean, I guess if you like warmer colors, this one's better. But I really don't use this one very often. So, that is that one. But, so that rounds up the Coastal Scents palettes that I have. If you have any other questions, let me know. And I'm going to be doing some more Coastal Scents reviews, I think, just because I have quite a wide range of their line and the things that they carry. So I will be letting you guys know about that in the near future. So thanks, guys. Bye.